Welcome to Getting Started with Leaderboard. I'm Amy Smith.
And I'm Matthew Galgani. Today we're going to show you how to use Leaderboard to quickly find winning stocks and, just as importantly, see the right time to buy and sell them.
You'll find that Leaderboard does most of the work for you, so if you're busy and have limited time to invest, this will give you a huge advantage.
Here's how it works, and we'll get into each of these steps later in this video. First, check the overall market conditions. With Leaderboard, you know right away if now is the time to be getting into or out of the market.
Next, I always check the leaders list to quickly zero in on what stocks to buy. The list is put together and reviewed each day by the IBD Markets team, and it's a short list of stocks that have the most potential right now. You'll also find top-rated stocks under the tabs for Sector Leaders, the IBD 50, and Stock Spotlight. That includes exclusive Leaderboard-only markups and analysis for the top 10 stocks in the IBD 50.
It's also important to know when to buy, and Leaderboard helps pinpoint that for you too. And what's great about this is that the IBD Markets team helps alert you ahead of time to specific buy points, so you're ready to act if a stock on the leaders list breaks out.
Knowing when to sell is one of the most difficult aspects of investing, but Leaderboard makes it a lot easier. That's because IBD market experts continue to track each stock on the leaders list even after it breaks out, giving you a heads up to any sell signals as they emerge.
Before we jump in, here's a little background on the system behind Leaderboard. It's known as the Canslim investing system, and it's based on a very simple concept. To find tomorrow's big winners, you need to know what past winners looked like just before they surged. And to know when it's time to sell, it helps to know what warning signs past leaders flashed as they eventually topped and began to decline.
At IBD, we've studied every market cycle and top-performing stocks since 1880. Whether it's Bethlehem Steel in 1914 or Apple in 2004, decade after decade, the best stocks display the same 7 common characteristics just before they launch their biggest moves. And when the party ends, these stocks display the same warning signs.
That's absolutely true. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that in the stock market, history is always repeating itself. So know that the buy and sell signals you see in Leaderboard are time-tested rules based on over 130 years of market history. You can learn more at investors.com/Canslim.
We should also note that Canslim has been the #1 growth strategy for well over a decade. That's according to an ongoing independent study of over 50 top strategies by the American Association of Individual Investors. In other words, Canslim works, and Leaderboard makes it easy to put it to work for you.
It really does make it a whole lot easier. And here's an example. In February 2012, the market was in an uptrend, meaning it was a good time to buy stocks. And I remember Rackspace Hosting, a cloud computing company. It had the Canslim traits we look for, so it went on the leaders list. That alerted subscribers ahead of time to a potential buy point.
And remember how the stock broke past that buy point and climbed 34% in just 3 months.
Definitely remember that.
Not a bad gain in such a short time. And then Leaderboard noted a potential sell signal, giving you an opportunity to lock in those profits.
And remember, the IBD Markets team is adding these alerts and updates throughout the day as it happens.
That's right. It's a huge advantage and a time saver. And I've used it many times. So that gives you a sense of how Leaderboard will guide you through the life cycle of a stock, from pinpointing the right time to buy to identifying a good time to sell.
Okay, let's take a closer look at how it works and help you establish a quick routine.
When you log in and click on the Leaderboard tab, here's the first page you'll see. It shows you which of 3 possible stages the market is currently in.
Just like a street light, the 3 stages are confirmed uptrend, shown in green. That's the best time to buy stocks. Uptrend under pressure in yellow, that means we're seeing some selling pressure in the market and it's time to be cautious and ready to take defensive action.
And then there's the stop sign, and this is market in correction. And that means that the market is trending down and it's best to avoid making any new buys. It's also a good time to lock in your gains and cut short any losses.
And to learn more about current market conditions and what actions you should be taking right now, click the Big Picture tab. You'll find a weekly review of the market action, a daily wrap-up of what happened and what it all means, and multiple intraday updates that alert you to any major news or moves happening during the trading session.
We can't emphasize enough how important it is to always know the current market direction. Are we in an uptrend or a correction? Staying in sync with the overall market will have a huge impact on your results.
It absolutely will. Now again, we've studied every market cycle since 1880, and it's clear 3 out of 4 stocks simply move in the same direction as the overall market. So if you try to buy stocks when the market is in a correction or downtrend, you're fighting an uphill battle. Keep the odds in your favor and only buy when the market is in a confirmed uptrend.
Scroll down from there to see the leaders list. Pay special attention to the top half of that list called leaders near a buy point. If the overall market is in a confirmed uptrend, these could offer a chance to get in.
I want to emphasize one thing here too, and not to sound like Carl Sagan, but there are thousands and thousands of stocks to choose from. But the leaders list narrows that down to just a handful of the very best stocks. While these are not recommendations, the leaders list is the most targeted and pared down list we produce. So it makes your search for winning stocks much faster and easier.
And for each leaders list stock, you'll find a quick analysis of the latest trends and key news, plus a backstory that tells you what the company does. To dig a little deeper, click this icon to see more articles about the stock.
And scroll down a bit and you'll see the second half of the leaders list. These stocks also have the Canslim traits we discussed earlier, but they're not currently near a buy point. However, you do want to keep an eye on them since they could offer an opportunity down the road.
Now it's time to take action. Once a stock makes the leaders list, you want to look for the right time to buy. We keep repeating this since it's crucial. First, make sure the overall market is in a confirmed uptrend, and then look for leaderboard highlights pointing to the right time to buy.
You'll find them in the chart markups. These are updated as needed throughout the day by the IBD Markets team. And as you can see, in leaderboard, blue is good, red is bad. So you'll see buy points in blue and warning signs in red.
On the left, you also have a checklist that gives you a pass, neutral, or fail rating for each stock. Let's take Priceline as an example. Here's the highlight of the buy point before the stock broke out. So you could have been ready to buy right when the stock broke out a few days later and quickly shot up over 20%.
So that's how leaderboard helps you get in at the right time with the buy point alerts in blue. Now let's see how it helps you see when it's time to sell with the red markups.
And there are 2 types of selling, offensive for locking in your profits and defensive for cutting short any losses. Let's look at offensive selling first. In general, you want to take profits around 20%, and that's because if a stock goes up 20 to 25% from a buy point, it typically pulls back. So that can be a good time to lock in and start compounding those gains. Here's the markup in red that let you know this was potentially a time to take some profits.
Now for a while anyway, Priceline was an exception to that rule and kept climbing higher. The markets team continued to track the stock, and when it pulled back here, another red warning note appeared. So if you were holding Priceline, this was another opportunity to lock in your profits, and you can see how it's moved lower since then.
So you can see that this approach could be called conservative growth investing. Now we have rules to make sure you lock in some profits along the way. There is an important exception to the 20 to 25% sell rule. If a stock goes up more than 20% from a buy point in just 2 to 3 weeks, you must hold the stock for at least 8 weeks, and this will help you hang on to a potentially big winner.
InvenSense, which makes chips for video games, triggered that rule in early 2012. Here's where Leaderboard alerted you to the buy point, then noted how it had triggered the 8-week hold rule when it quickly shot up over 20%.
And that rule came in handy a few days later when InvenSense sold off hard. Most people would have been scared off by that, but the 8-week rule helped you to sit tight.
And when the stock pulled back again later, Leaderboard noted how it had found support at its 50-day line, which helped you hold on for another big run, until it eventually topped and a sell signal was noted.
By following Leaderboard's buy and sell alerts, you could have locked in a 48% gain in InventSense in just 4 months.
Here's what we call the cardinal rule of defensive selling. If a stock drops 7 to 8% below what you paid for it, sell. No questions asked. It's the best way to make sure you never let a small loss become a big one.
And that's really important to remember, that even the best investors make mistakes, but they cut their losses quickly when they do. So never let your emotions get in the way. If you have a loss, cut it quickly and move on.
And here's an example of why that's important and how Leaderboard helps you stay out of trouble. Catamaran, which provides pharmacy benefits management services, broke out in June, but quickly pulled back. This red markup tells you it triggered the 8% sell rule, so it was time to cut your losses.
And the stock tried to rally after that, but it has dropped even more since then. So getting out at 8% saved you from taking a much larger loss.
Keep in mind, too, that when a member of the leaders list sells off, it can get moved to the cut list. In the right type of market, that could mean it's a possible short-selling candidate, but shorting can be tricky. So be sure to learn more about proper shorting strategies before attempting that.
So that's just a quick overview of how Leaderboard guides you through the entire life cycle of a winning stock. Leaderboard identifies potential winners and puts them on the leaders list before they break out, and updates chart markups throughout the day to alert you to any buy or sell signals.
That's right. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Leaderboard is a very simple but powerful tool. In a strong market, you'll find timely alerts to many money-making opportunities like these.
This chart shows the performance of stocks on the leaders list in the 4-month uptrend we saw around the first quarter of 2012. There are some nice gains on this list, but in a stronger, longer bull market cycle, you can capture even bigger profits using the markups by IBD experts.
To learn more about Leaderboard, Canslim, or any other investing questions you may have, contact the Leaderboard concierge to get answers. You can also set up a free training session. The bottom line is, we're here to help. All you have to do is ask.
So send us an email or give us a call at 877-887-0630. Thanks for watching.